Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the backstory. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Now ladies and gentlemen, Nzoia Governor George Natembeya has today been blocked by a contingent of heavily armed police officers from accessing Nzoia Sugar Factory. Apparently we're being told that the police officers were ordered not to allow George Natembeya anywhere close to Nzoia Sugar Factory.
So who is in charge? Unajua very well ni baya kufunga barabara. Unajua sheria. Barabara national highway. Unajua sheria kabisa. Nyinyi si watu kupisha. Unajua sheria nasema. Wanajua sheria. Ya tutatoa hii kitu. We are going to remove this thing because you cannot block us unless you give us a reason why you are not going to move. Shida iko wapi? Nobody is talking. Afadhali shida iko wapi? And you know the road very well. So now you nobody is talking. Afadhali shida iko wapi? And you know the road very well.
And George Natembeya was leading a delegation of local political leaders and a team of lawyers who wanted to understand how the transfer of the lease of Nzoia Sugar was being done. And the police officers could not give him and the local political leaders time to at least get access to that sugar company. This is coming at a time when George Natembeya had threatened to lead local residents to storm Nzoia Sugar Company so that they can stop the transfer of Nzoia Sugar Company to private developers.
Tumeona watu wetu. Nzoia imeuzwa wakiangalia. Jana Nzoia imeenda. Wameuza Nzoia. Wameuza Nzoia na watu wa ututu hapa wengi hapa na Jalicha waliwacha mashamba yao Bungoma wakawajia hiyo factory wakatolewa kule. Saa hizi imeuzwa. Alafu napata kiongozi anasema kuna tofauti ya kukodesha na kuuza. Mtu akikodesha shamba kwa miaka 30 si ameuza jamani. Sasa uko na miaka 70 na uko unakodesha shamba kwa miaka 30. Wewe kabe wae na miaka 30 na kiwele. Alafu wanatuambia ati eka moja kwa Nzoia wanakodesha kwa miaka 30 kwa shilingi 50,000. Kumaanisha kwamba eka moja kwa mwaka wanakodesha shilingi 1,600. Bandu bebe na pesa.
Now the background to this story is that the government has been trying to lease out some of the sugar milling companies in the sugar belt region. This includes Sony Sugar, Muhoroni, Chemelil and Nzoia. So what the government has been trying to say, or in their defense, they're trying to say that the sugar companies have been struggling and the government has no money that they can use to sustain the operation of these sugar companies. So in the process, what they're trying to say is that they've partnered with, they've brought in private developers so that these private developers can inject in capital and expertise so that these companies can work to their optimum level. Now, where the problem is that local political leaders do not agree with the government in the way in which these transfers have been done. Because these guys have been given a lease agreement of close to 30 good years. And what are they bringing on the table? Yeah, I tend to agree with the fact that for these companies to work at optimum level, they need to have good managers. They need to get private developers that are able to pump in capital so that they operate effectively. But the manner in which these things have been done is shrouded in a lot of secrecy. It's like there is a private developer who has been given an upper hand. Was there public participation? Was there tendering and bidding whereby you'll have like several competitors bidding for the same, or was it through single sourcing? You know, the problem with single sourcing is that there's a lot of back and forth, and then there is a lot of shortchanging that is happening. Look at the tracts of land that Nzoia, Chemelin, and Moroni has. The value of that land. Was it worth the amount these guys paid? And why 30 years? Is there justification? Because I know that if these guys were to do business, they can recoup their money within a span of 10 years. Why were they not given a shorter duration? Why the longer duration? And what are the benefits that are going to accrue? Said that the common man is going to get, or the common farmers are going to get value out of the money that is being pumped here. Yeah, the sugar industry has been struggling all along in Kenya. That we accept. But the other twist to it is that most of the millers in Kenya have not been optimizing the output of these companies. Now, what has been happening in Kenya is one very funny story. And I think you guys now understand or know what's happening. Is that the sugar millers, instead of optimizing the usage of those milling stations, what they do is that they import sugar into the country, then repackage those sugar using branded material of the perceived companies. So let's take, for example, Chemelil or Nzoia. They'll import sugar into the country, then repackage and rebrand using Nzoia Sugar Company. So at the back of our mind, we think that Nzoia Sugar is doing well. They are crushing sugarcane. Their output is up at the optimum level. While in real sense, what is happening is that guys are importing sugar into the country. So what are the nitty-gritties? What Kenyans are asking is what are the nitty-gritties of these agreements? And how are they going to shield or protect the interest of the common man? How are they going to monitor the shoddy deals that may have happened? Because there's also the talk in town that there's a big man who is going to benefit out of all these deals. There is some kind of shoddy agreements that have been made that is going to benefit just a very few clique of individuals or politically connected individuals, so that at the end of it, it's kind of clothed in a way that it's going to benefit the local farmers, while in real sense, it is the political class that is going to benefit. So, because I don't see a reason as to why George Natembeya should oppose this. But the fact that he was not involved as the governor of that county, the fact that the political leaders, the local political leaders were not involved, and there was no public participation in a way that people are able to understand the implication of what is going on. The shoddiness in the deal is what Kenyans are asking about. What is it that these guys are hiding? Because if I look at all these deals, the lease agreements in all these deals, it's like a copycat of what happened during the Gen Z's demonstration, whereby Kenyans questioned about the deal, the Adani deal of the airports. You remember Adani, they wanted to give them a lease agreement of like 30 years. It is the same script with what is happening with these sugar milling companies. But however much the intention might be good, but we need to look at the nitty-gritties. Who is going to benefit out of this? Is it the common man? And what kind of technology are these guys bringing on board? What is their past experience? Which sugar milling companies have they managed in the past, and what are their successes? Some of these guys could be just Kenyans who are coming, who are bringing in on board some proxy companies, so that at the end of the day, they are going to reap profits in terms of importation, and disadvantaging the local farmers. So these are some of the agreements that needs to be looked at. But the most important thing out of the bottom line is they also need to involve local leaders and local farmers so that they are able to understand the nitty-gritties of all these agreements. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us today. But if you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Until next time, bye bye.